how goes it? So, since I'm well over day 70 at this point of being on a juice feast, obviously the question comes up a lot in terms of where I get my protein. And I'm sure that many people new to a plant-based diet, especially a raw diet, are going to get asked this quite a bit. So I'll give you a rundown on that. First and foremost is the human body doesn't use protein. Yes, that's true. Now, we'll use some analogies, and let's see, how do I put this? Let's just say you eat a piece of chicken. So you eat that piece of chicken, the body has to break that down into what are called polypeptides. From there, the body then has to break it down, the polypeptides, into what are called peptides. After that, your body then goes through a process of breaking those peptides up once again down to amino acids. Now, once the amino acids are then available in the body, they can now take that and use it to rebuild where necessary and do a couple other processes. Now, when one consumes some plant-based material, you're skipping that polypeptide and that peptide phase, and you're going straight for the amino acids. So this makes it this makes plant sources more bioavailable, is how it's referred to as. Now, why is that good? Why is that, why is it supposedly better? Well, the reason being is that when you have that whole protein, like say from eating the chicken, you have what are essentially leftover building materials, we'll say. Now, those being amino acids, those have to be obviously processed out of your body, and in that process it can change the pH of your body. We're all familiar with alkaline versus acid. Well, having all those extra building materials, we'll say, within your system creates a situation where you have more acidity in the body. So, stepping away from the science talk for a second and using analogies, using a let's say we're eating plant-based material. A good analogy for that could be you and I are building a house. You're up on a ladder and I'm handing you one board at a time, and you're able to take that board and use it immediately. Now, the analogy that we could use for, say, if we go back to eating the piece of chicken, would be that same situation, except instead of me handing you one board, I'm handing you a whole bunch of boards nailed together. Now, you have to then pull all those boards apart, use what you need, and on our job site, now we have a bunch of leftover waste that we now have to dispose of. So we're creating more work for ourselves. And on top of that, we sometimes you'll hear with, especially when it comes to eating things like chicken and other proteins, that it has a higher rate of thermogenesis, and it has, it creates more heat in your body, and as a result you can burn more calories. Well, with that thing being harder to digest, you're using a lot of energy to digest that in the first place, and then also it gives it more time to sit in your system and essentially rot, we'll say. So you'll have putrefying protein, and the potential for, depending upon the level of fat in the meat that you ate, you then have a possibility of rancidification, which your liver, it gets stressed out from that because it has to produce more bile, etc., etc. So that just, when you are eating simpler things like plant-based materials, your body is able to process it and use it better. And to also cover the concept of a complete protein, because we'll hear that a lot as well. That came from a study done back in the 1950s on rats, and it's perpetuated all through the decades. So there's really not much validity to that. The body, as I'm finding, from a completely subjective standpoint, the body can do some really what would be considered odd things according to medical science, nutritional science, but I mean, there's even the possibility that the body can manufacture its own amino acids and can convert glucose, which is, you know, blood sugar, into amino acids. So, I mean, I haven't, since I've been on my juice feast, I've lost a little bit of strength just due to completely, you know, I don't do body weight exercise anymore. I don't run anymore. But still, my lifting at work with all the boxes that I carry around, nothing's changed there. And my wife, who's now as well over day 70 on juice, and she's also just drinking citrus juice. She just started doing yoga for the first time in a long time, and she's noticed that her strength is off the charts compared to what it used to be. So that just kind of gives a little bit more of a testament to the whole protein thing, and that you don't have to go hammering down lots of whatever, you know, even if it's plant-based material. Even, you know, if you're using a plant-based protein powders, you're potentially creating more waste in your body, which is unneeded. Anyways, so that's a quick rundown on the protein. If I wasn't clear on something, just let me know. Otherwise, go out there, have fun, subscribe to my videos, share, hit the like button, and take it easy, guys and girls.